So that was 2010. So did you found CrossFit in this?
Yeah, so that guy, so he challenged me, and then I got addicted to it, and so I found the guy at the YMCA, and I was like, dude, I want to start one of these things. You can do an affiliate, which the way CrossFit is, it's affiliate. So it's not a franchise to where they tell you what to do. You own the name, or you can use the name, but everything else it's all up to you. So even to this day, Candace and I and Sophia make all the decisions at the gym, but for better or for worse, they could be wrong decisions, but that guy backed out, and then like within the week, I found out CrossFit Trussville was opening, so I went and worked for them for free. I did their, at the time, their social media, which was just starting. It was definitely like MySpace stuff, and then coached for free, and then I asked to be paid, and they said no. And then I was like, well, I'll buy in. They were like, no, so I ended up leaving and went to college. Met you guys, and then they called me and were like, hey, we're leaving for good, and do you want to buy it? And I said, I'm in college. I was doing the American Marketing Association, the sales certificate program, and trying to work with Stryker and all that stuff, and basically told them I wasn't interested, but something back in my head was like, it is kind of appealing to own your own business, and I didn't like the idea of always knowing my schedule for the rest of my life, so I was like, well, maybe this is a good idea. And they literally told me, we're gone. We're not coming back. We can negotiate a price. So I literally went in June, started coaching, and didn't buy the business until September because they literally just left. They left. And talked them down. I don't know. This is like a long story. I'm sorry I'm doing so much talking.
No, it's good. It's good.
So they wanted like, I don't know, it was like $50,000 to $75,000, and I had no money.
Yeah, well, they wanted that for, at that time. I mean, how many members did they have?
7. They said they had 21.
So a failing business.
Super failing.
Super
failing by far. And when I was there, not saying that I helped the business, but when I was there, a lot of the members were my buddies.
Of course. Yeah, because they had 7.
Yeah, Jordan, Tank, Glover, D-Wall, Daniel Jones. A lot of those guys were directly from me. And so when I left, they eventually fizzled. Anyways, went back, and they were like, I can't remember exactly what it was. Let's say it was $50,000 to $75,000. Let's say it was $50,000. They said $50,000, and I said, let me see how much money I can get. And at the time, I'd been working at 2 Men in a Truck and Jim and Nick's, and I didn't have any money. I had like $1,500, and I'm a saver, which I thought was just an incredible amount of money. $1,500, and then to buy a business, you need an insane amount. So I didn't know that I could. Anyways, not to get ahead of myself, but I eventually took out a student loan, or I was going to go take out a student loan. My dad found out I was going to take out a student loan to buy a business, which is definitely illegal. You can't do that.
You can. If you get caught, if you get caught, you're in some serious trouble.
But I was passionate, man. I was excited. I still remember doing the math, going, man, if we got like 50 members, like holy smokes, that would be incredible. And I found the paperwork to Wells Fargo literally the other day when I was looking through some stuff. I found the application to Wells Fargo for a student loan, and they approved me up to $8,000. So they were like, here's $8,000 we're going to give you. And I told my dad. He ended up writing me a check and then charged me an incredible interest rate to pay him back. Incredible as in way above market value, which was a good lesson from my dad. So have good credit. That's a good idea. My dad, he treated me like I had zero credit, which is, it's good. It's a good lesson. But anyways.
Still worth it. I mean, looking at today.
Yeah. Still worth it. But I went to them, and, Wells Fargo said, here's $8,000. So that was my number. I literally went there and told them, I said, okay, you wanted 50, I got $8,000. And they were like, okay, tough negotiator. We'll do 25. And I was like, okay.
I still have 8.
Yeah. And I've negotiated a lot in my life.
Pull out like pocket change. All right, I'll do $8,000.
It's like, let me move these buttons over. Okay, let me see here. So literally, I told him, I said, yeah, okay, I hear you're 25. I'll give you 8. They were like, well, okay, let's talk about it. And so they went and they talked, 50, and they came back, okay, we'll do 15. And I was like, okay, 8. I have $8,000. So they eventually they accepted it, and
well, for them it was probably, and for them CrossFit was still so new that it wasn't as big and mainstream yet. I don't think people knew.
No.
I mean, nobody had a way of knowing how big it was going to become. I know that people called it a fad for a while.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And obviously it's here to stay.
Well, and that was also during the Great Recession, so 2008 financial crisis, and then it took until 2013 until the housing market recovered. So 2010, I mean, everybody around me, every mentor told me, do not do it. I mean, my MMA instructor, jiu-jitsu instructor, I went and talked to my business professors at the business engineering complex at UAB, and I was like, hey, I have this opportunity. I talked to my marketing professors. I have a degree in marketing. Talked to her. Even my dad. I mean, even my boss at 2 Minute Truck. They were like, "Do not do this. Don't do this." Which, speaking to anybody that's ever considered taking a risk, or if you have a job and you're like, "I want to go do this thing," take the risk. Because if I had listened to every person that I respected, none of that would have happened.